Okay, the third song that we're covering today is by Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. No creative name for this one. And actually, these guys were, I guess you'd kind of say, like a band together, but they also have all gone on to have their own like solo careers too. So Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, that's the last names of the four artists that are performing this song. The name of the song is called Ohio. If you go through and read the lyrics on this one, I'm guessing if you've been paying attention to the notes, you can probably definitely guess what this is about. It's pretty obvious as you go through and start listening to the song that this one is all about the Kent State Massacre. Kent State, by 1972, anti-war protests were happening in college campuses all across the country. That had kind of been building momentum for a few years. The vast majority of those protests were peaceful, although sometimes they did get out of hand and they would start getting rowdy. I guess that was apparently they expected to be the case at Kent State in 1972 when this protest was going down. So the governor had called in the National Guard. And in order to do that, you have to get presidential approval. So if you follow through in the lyrics of this song, who are they blaming for it? Absolutely. They're blaming Richard Nixon, who was the president at the time. Now, did Nixon go tell the National Guard to go in and shoot some college kids? No, he didn't want that to happen at all. But he was the president, the commander in chief, and he did allow for National Guard troops to go in on this college campus. It's all taking place. Kent State is like a MAC school, which is like Central Michigan, Western, Eastern, roughly about the same size college down in Ohio. And horrible tragedy that day. There was an anti-war protest going on. It was getting kind of rowdy as the National Guardsmen come in. Apparently there were some bricks and rocks getting thrown by the protesters. The National Guard starts firing tear gas, and a few of these younger, probably not super well-trained soldiers panic a little bit, and they fire their rifles into the crowd. And when all the dust settles, you have 4 dead college kids. This, I think, was something that was kind of an icing on the cake, that the war had already been growing and trending unpopular. That had been happening for a couple year period. And by 1972, the war, man, it had just kind of become super controversial. And now definitely a majority of Americans were really questioning why we were there. And of course, that doesn't help seeing American college kids on an American college campus lying there dead on the evening news. Very controversial thing that went down in a horrible tragedy. So this song has a very different feel. They're definitely telling a tale there. These guys are for sure left-wing kind of activists. They are very much opposed to the Vietnam War. I think they had been opposed to the Vietnam War way prior to Kent State, but then they had come out with this song to kind of commemorate what happened there and to advocate for ending the Vietnam War. So go ahead and give this one a listen too. In this one, it's going to be edited in such a way where, music videos weren't really a thing in the late 1960s, early 1970s. So this one, they just cut a lot of images from the Kent State protests. So you'll get to see some really cool images that would tie into this event too.